What is my type? Who actually cares? I like talking to you. I'm going to talk to you because then I probably will end up depressed. I would not say I was in love with the individual. Actually, to be fair, if I hadn't, I wouldn't be a model. Felt so egotistical, wanted to be in a relationship so bad. The comments, the likes, the views, to feel love. Because I never want to end up in a situation like that again. You can laugh me into bed. Hello. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. Today I'm doing my first ever Q&A. I feel like there's enough of you now for this to be justified and to actually receive questions. I don't know, I've always wanted to do this, do like a little get to know me. What's the real tea? What's the gossip? I'm gonna be spilling everything. I feel like I'm a very open book. I feel like we can just get into it. I have quite a few questions there. So I guess let's just go. Let's get comfy, let's get cozy. What am I studying? I got a lot of like, what am I studying? What's my major? So I'm studying psychology at the University of Manchester. It was a bit rogue of me. I took psychology for A-level and I did really enjoy it at A-level. So I thought, what is something that I'm going to enjoy going to university for? Do I want a career in psychology?
Not particularly, no.
However, I do find it interesting. So I guess that's kind of why I'm taking it, and maybe a career will come out of it, but I'm gonna be honest, career-wise, I'm definitely more focused on modeling, content, all of that. Yeah, I mean, maybe I can use psychology in some way with that. I'm sort of just getting a degree for a backup. Actually, to be fair, if I hadn't gone to University of Manchester for psychology, I wouldn't be a model. Which I guess kind of brings me on to another question. Another question I got a lot was, how did I get into modeling? I got into modeling in a very lucky way. I went to an open day at the agency that I'm currently signed with, Nemesis Models. I received a lot of luck, which I'm very grateful for, because getting into modeling is very difficult. It was definitely a kind of everything happens for a reason sort of thing. Came up to Manchester for an open day at the university, and it just so happened that that same day that I was coming up, I saw on Instagram that Nemesis were doing an open day the same day. So I just thought, you know what, it's literally 20 minutes down the road. Like, there's actually no harm, I might as well. And I did, and luckily I was successful. I then, a couple of weeks later, had a online meeting with Alice, who's now my agent. And then a couple of weeks after that, came in for an induction day, and now we're here. I will say, when it comes to modeling and signing with an agency, everybody's journey is different. Like I said, I got very lucky, but once you sign, that's probably when the actual difficult journey starts, because that's a whole nother thing. Do you go through imposter syndrome at uni, especially after being in a gap year? Right. You know what? No, I didn't experience any sort of gap year, imposter syndrome, anything like that. I think maybe because it is so common nowadays for people to take gap years. I feel. In my student accommodation in my first year, I would say 50% of us were gap year students. So I definitely think nowadays, like being older, going to university, it is a lot more common. Honestly, no, like I don't feel any imposter syndrome with university. If we want to talk about imposter syndrome, we can talk about imposter syndrome. Oh my gosh, I experience the worst imposter syndrome, I feel, when it comes to modeling. I think like actually if we want to, something that I really struggled with, especially in the first year of kind of like signing, is labeling myself as a model. I feel like there's such a stereotype of models being like looking a certain way and always kind of maintaining this appearance. I definitely struggled with like labeling myself as one. I just always felt like such a pressure to maintain this appearance. And I hated introducing myself to people and then being like, oh, what do you do for work? And I'm like, oh, I'm a model. Because it just feels so like, I don't know, I just always had this vision of like what a model should look like and how a model should act. And it just felt so egotistical and vain of me to tell people that that was my profession. And I still like struggle with it a lot, to be honest. I love it. It's something that I absolutely love doing. I think it's just because it's so like, I never thought that I could model or that it would be a career path for me. So it's kind of like, now that it's actually happening, I'm kind of like, this doesn't feel right. Like it feels like I'm living out a dream that I never thought could be a reality. I don't know, but no. To answer your question, when it comes to university, imposter syndrome, we're fine. Modeling, we're still working on it. But that was a huge tangent, I apologize. Do you find comparison a hard thing when doing socials? comparison with everything. Always so much talk about like, oh, comparison when it comes to beauty standards and stuff on social media. Absolutely. But alongside that, just comparison in performance, something that I've found when I first started doing like content creation and all this sort of stuff, it's so measurable to track how you're doing because you can very publicly see the comments, the likes, the views. It's really difficult to ignore that because it's so apparent. It's so there. It's just such an easy way of seeing how you're doing that it is difficult to kind of separate yourself from that. As cliche as this is to say, I honestly don't care about views. I do not care about views. I don't care about the numbers. I was speaking to somebody else who's an influencer and they were just saying it's really difficult doing content and like spending hours editing a video only for it to flop and get like 200 views. But I think because when I started this, when I started my YouTube, when I started my TikTok, I wasn't expecting anything. Like my expectations were on the floor. So when I was putting in hours editing a video and doing all of that, I wasn't expecting for it to have more than 200 views. Like I was expecting for it to not do well. And it actually comes from such a place of just passion. Like I love making videos. I love doing this. Like it's almost a reward. It's like a reward.
It's like a reward.
Like when I'll do my uni work, I'll kind of be like, oh my gosh, I can finish my uni work and then I can edit this video, or I can work on this video concept, or I can go and take Instagram photos. Like I genuinely have such a passion for it. I'm not really caring as much about the numbers. I worry though that that's gonna change because as I said, at first my expectations were like on the freaking floor. Now like slowly as I've maybe gained a little bit more traction, my expectations are rising. Now if I'll have a video that will flop because I'm like, oh wait, that hasn't done as good as the others. So I'm trying to like separate the numbers because it is so difficult. And when it comes to comparing with other creators as well, everybody's journey when it comes to social media is so different and everyone's growth is different. There's so many factors that come into it because not only are you looking at like the numbers on a screen, but you also have to keep in mind the audience. I more care about like creating a community, a family with YouTube and everything of people who are genuinely enjoying my content. You know, if I lose followers, if I have like engagement flops for a little bit, I'm trying to not care about that and not worry about that because at the end of the day, it's not about that for me. It's just about sharing my life basically. And if people want to follow it, like you are loved, you are appreciated. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying not to compare myself to other people because I used to, I feel, and now I've realized it's not about that because realistically, I don't want what other people have. I want what I have, which is you guys. Why am I like major waffling right now? I feel like this whole thing I've literally just been like word vomit waffling. This is my first Q&A, guys. Okay, bear with me. Are you seeing anyone right now? No. I am single. Is that a priority right now? Like to focus on yourself, or if the right guy shows up, you're open for it? Definitely. Yeah, I'm not shutting myself off. I'm not like I want to be single right now. I think I needed to be. There was a point in time where I was really down bad. I wanted to be in a relationship so bad. Like I wanted to feel love so bad. I'm glad that I did not end up in a relationship because that was not what I needed. Personally, if you were that desperate for a relationship, that relationship isn't going to be a good thing for you. I would have basically become dependent on that other person to satisfy that like I don't feel loved. So I need to find love in somebody else. That wouldn't have been good for me as an individual. It also wouldn't have been good for my partner or whoever I was with. And now I think I would be ready if a relationship came along. I wouldn't be opposed to it. However, one hasn't. And you know what? That's no stress. I don't care. I feel like I'm so content right now being single. If somebody joined that, it'd only be like an addition. It wouldn't be filling a void. I would say, if anything, I'm probably too focused on myself. Have you ever been in a relationship before? Yeah. But I'm gonna be so real, I literally don't count it. I was about 16 years of age. It lasted not even a whole year. And I would not say I was in love with the individual. I think we said I love you, but I probably only just said it because I thought, yeah, that's probably what I should do now. I think that's another thing. My last relationship, it came from such a point of like, oh, I want to be in a relationship. So when the opportunity came up, I was like, let's go. I didn't actually want to be in a relationship with that person specifically. I just wanted to be in a relationship, period. It's now put me in a position where I'm like, if I get into another relationship, I want to be like obsessed with that individual. Like I want to be so 100% sure, like I said, not only for my sake but for his sake, that person, like I want to be in a relationship with them, because I never want to end up in a situation like that again. This one's a fun one. What's your biggest relationship green flag and red flag? I'm gonna take a minute to think. Okay, I would say my biggest red flag is communication and kind of like immaturity with communication. If you want to play games when it comes to responses, I don't know, play hard to get, whatever with responses, no. No, you're done. Respectfully, I haven't got the time for that, and I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
Don't like it.
I saw something that was like, taking the time to respond to somebody, that's just a sign of respect. And low-key, like, that changed my perspective on it too, because I used to do that as well. When I was younger, I used to kind of like mentally be like, oh,
I need to wait to respond. Like, I can't respond now.
Now I'm like, you know what, fuck it. Like, at the end of the day, who actually cares? If I like somebody, if I like talking to you, I'm going to talk to you. So definitely that would be a red flag for me. Also, just like when it comes to communication, if somebody's like really immature with it, that's probably my green flag as well, actually, if somebody can communicate well. And also just like in the sense of having interesting conversations. If somebody can like properly have like an intellectual conversation, or just they're passionate about things, they enjoy talking about it, I love that. At the end of the day, when it comes to a relationship, I want to be able to talk to that person, enjoy spending time with them and like picking their brains about different things. I've come from a very intellectual household. Both of my parents, they're very clever, and I've grown up in a household where at the dinner table we would have intellectual conversations. I could literally just sit down and talk to somebody and just like really pick someone's brain. I don't know, just talk about the most random stuff for hours. And it's like my favorite pastime. Having good conversations, that would definitely be a green flag for me. Whilst we are on the whole relationship scene, what is my type? This may be so annoying to say, but honestly, I do not have one. And I feel like if you also know my history, you will understand like I literally don't have a type. Even saying this though, my history still doesn't like correlate. But normally, I like them to be tall, because obviously I'm quite tall. I like feeling petite. I'd like to be able to wear heels and, you know, still have a height difference. But like I said, my history, that ain't always true. Honestly, I think because I definitely go for personality over looks, I know that everyone's like, but that's like such bullshit. On a real, obviously there needs to be a physical attraction there. However, that being said, I do also believe somebody's personality can also make them physically attractive. There have been times where I've not initially found somebody attractive, but then the more that I've got to know them, I then start to find them physically attractive purely because we gel on that level. That can also go the other way. Like I could initially find somebody physically attractive, and then as I get to know them, I don't really care for their personality, and soon they become unattractive to me. I definitely think personality is more important than looks. Specifically with personality, humor.
Oh Lord.
You can laugh me into bed. Honestly, you can laugh me into bed. If it is like chatting to a brick wall, if you are not funny, I can't. I love somebody who will make me laugh. This is gonna sound so weird to say, but I think again, because I've grown up in a household where everyone's very witty, I need that. Like I enjoy humor, and if I'm talking to somebody and they're just not funny, I'm like, it gives me the ick. It's an ick for me. Especially if someone's like actively not funny. The amount of dates I've been on and they've said a joke or something and I'm just like, oh, no. That's my type. That's my type. That's my type. Do you think you are the typical middle kid? Do you think your siblings fit the oldest, youngest stereotypes? So middle kid stereotype, I'm guessing, is like the whole kind of being overlooked. Yeah. Definitely. Like my parents sent me to boarding school. That's how overlooked I was. No, I'm joking. I went to boarding school by choice. I wanted to go. In fact, actually, my dad did not want me to go to boarding school. He went to boarding school himself and he absolutely hated it. So he was worried that I was going to have a similar experience. I did not. I loved boarding school. Honestly, like I don't feel overlooked. I think if anything, naturally, because I went to boarding school from the age of 14, I was maybe left out the loop a little bit when it came to certain things, but that's purely just because both my older sibling and my younger sibling were at home with my family whilst I was away. So naturally, like, I would come home and it'd be like almost like having a little bit of a catch up. But no, I definitely don't feel overlooked. My parents have always made a good job of like being fair. I actually think that is something else that is so important to me as well. I personally really feel you can tell when somebody has grown up with siblings, especially siblings that are close in age to them, and people who have grown up more in like an only child setting, because there was so much like sharing and talks of like fairness in my household growing up, and my parents did a very good job of that, of making sure that me and my siblings had equal opportunities and everything was fair between us. I do think we kind of fit the stereotype. I would say both my older sibling and I are kind of like quite controlling type A. I'm very neat. I'm very particular with everything. I mean, you can literally see from my room. I like things as they are. I love my lists. I love my spreadsheets. I'm a very organized person. My older sibling, they're also very type A when it comes to just like, they're very, very intelligent. Honestly, one of the smartest people I know. They're definitely a leader when it comes to all of that stuff. My little sibling also definitely, I would say, fits the stereotype of maybe being the favorite. No, not the favorite, but like she gets away with a lot. I actually don't know if that's because she is the little sibling or maybe just because of her personality. My little sister, she eats. Like she knows what she wants, and I can't lie, she gets it because she's just good with it. Like, do you know what I mean? She just knows how to get what she wants, and it's a very inspiring thing. What's your star sign? Do you relate to the characteristics of it? I am a Scorpio. I'm a November baby. November Scorpio. You know what? I think I do, but I can't actually remember. What are the characteristics? I do know that all me and my siblings are water signs, which I think that's probably why we're so close, because we're all compatible. I wouldn't say I'm like massively into star signs. I like them. Like, I like thinking of them and being like, this means this, but realistically I'm not hell-bent on it. Scorpios are characterized by their intensity, passion, and determination. They are emotionally intuitive and deeply insightful, often possessing a magnetic and mysterious aura. Well, I'm definitely not mysterious. Key traits include fierce loyalty and protectiveness towards loved ones, but they can also be secretive, suspicious, and stubborn. Well, I'm definitely not secretive. My idea of fun is sharing my life on the internet. So I would say I am very passionate and determined. Like, if I put my mind to something, you best believe I will be putting my mind to something and giving it my all. That is something that I will stand by. I am a very determined individual. They may hold grudges and can be resentful if feeling wrong. I can hold a grudge. I've met people who are a lot better than me. Some of my friends have been in situations where they've been like, but you know what? That's water under the bridge, we're moving on. I'm like, wow, I applaud you. I take my hat off to you, because I would not have been able to move on that easily. So maybe I am. Maybe I do hold grudges, guys. When can you see yourself settling down, and do you want kids? If so, how many? Yes! I want kids so bad. Settling down wise, it's literally just a matter of like when I find somebody else that I want to settle down with. Like, I don't want to put a time limit on it or a pressure, because then I probably will end up depressed. Ideally, I would love to be a young mum though, or a younger mum. Wouldn't mind settling down in my late 20s and be a young mum. I actually think I would really like that. In terms of how many kids I want, I've always wanted 2. I do not want to have an only child. I loved growing up with siblings, and that's what I want for my kid as well. However, also growing up in a household of 3, I kind of want to stick to 2. Any more than that, and you're having to get a 7-seater. That's jarring. Even with 3 kids, you still may want a 7-seater. If you're anything like me and my siblings, we cannot all sit in the same row. So we need a 7-seater for somebody to go in the back. I would love to obviously have my own kids, but I don't know about my fertility. And it used to be something that I was so terrified of. The prospect of not being able to have my own kids, it would have been one of those things where I'm like, I don't even want to think about it. Like, that's terrifying to me. Now, if somebody were to tell me that like you can't have kids, I would love to adopt. I actually think it would be quite rewarding. I've seen a lot of people struggle with IVF and go through just the most traumatic experiences, and I genuinely don't think I have the heart for it. As much as I would love a kid that is my own DNA, if I have issues with my fertility, I don't want to become hell-bent on it. think I would honestly just prefer to adopt. The idea of adoption is definitely something that in recent years I've thought actually I kind of really wouldn't mind doing. I think I'm gonna just do one more question. How do you stay motivated during stressful semesters? I don't know. I think having a stressful semester is what motivates me. I thrive when I'm busy. And if I have like a stressful semester where I have a lot of work on with modules and I've got a lot of work with modeling and all that other kind of stuff, that's honestly what keeps me motivated and keeps me going, because it's like next. It's like every time I do something, I'm like, you know, ticking off something, and that's just kind of motivating me to keep going. I guess that's just how I stay motivated in general, is just like keeping busy and just always having stuff going on and stuff to do. You then have to be worried about burnout and just oversubscribing yourself, so that I kind of hit a happy medium of being busy enough to like, you know, keep motivated and keep going, but not so busy that it's literally becoming like a burden in my life and I don't have time for other things that I want to do. But just in general, like motivation wise, like I said earlier, I'm a very type A, organized. I love my lists. One of the things that I love to do before I go to bed, in my notes app, have my to-do list for tomorrow, plan out my day. I love having a list, and then I'll just like, as the day goes through, tick things off. Yeah, I think that kind of summarizes it. That was so much fun. That was fun for me, but that's basically just because I got to talk about myself for like an hour.
Bruh.
Of course, that is my favorite subject. If you guys did enjoy this Q&A and you want to see another Q&A or something, do let me know. Maybe leave some more questions below for me to ask in the future. If there's anything that you want me to do a Q&A specifically about, whatever it is, let me know. I always love hearing from you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. I also do weekly vlogging as well, so definitely check out some of those videos. I have it linked in the description as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video or vlog. Bye guys, love you. Mwah.